Well, it's time to get a bite on the Texas bucket list, and this week we are in Fort Worth to play some games and get a piece of pie, but it's not the kind of pie you're thinking of. We're at Game Theory. Over in the South Main Village side of Fort Worth, you'll find an eclectic mix of locally owned businesses. Among them is Game Theory, which at first sight might seem like a game store, but there's so much more to this place.
Saw the games and I was just like, okay, a little different.
I think it's awesome.
Really, the goal of Game Theory is to have family game night every night. You just don't have to cook and clean.
John Michael Johnson is the GM at Game Theory, a restaurant where grubbing over games for a great time is the goal.
We're a restaurant and bar first, and we have awesome food from Scratch Kitchen, craft cocktails. So it's the same concept if you go and watch the Cowboys play for 3 hours and sit at a bar and, you know, have food and drink and wings and beer or whatever. Kind of the same concept.
There's not many places you can go and hang out and just eat at a little table and have fun with somebody just to play games.
I've had people that come in, play one game, and they're here for 45 minutes. I've had people that have sat here my entire 8-hour shift, so.
Wow.
It varies, but it works for us.
Now, when you first arrive at Game Theory, your first decision is what kind of fancy drink you prefer to play with. Then, you get to choose what your battle will be.
You guys have games I've never heard of, seen before. Yeah. I mean, Obscurio.
Yeah.
That's very obscure.
Yeah, exactly. Over here, you're going to have more intermediate strategy games. Okay. In the middle is going to be more of our featured games, and then the far left library is going to be more party games.
You guys gotta have Monopoly, right?
Yeah, it's our classics are down here. So
there
right
it is.
Next to life.
There's my row of games I know.
Yeah.
Just don't expect to find Operation.
That's one that we do not have because we've had so many copies, and literally I'll put it on in the library, and that night someone's like, we're missing the funny bone. Same with Clue. You know, we've had so many copies of Clue, and finally I was like, we're not going to do it anymore because, you know, the candlestick's missing.
And remember those fancy drinks I was telling you about? You'll want to be careful with those.
I mean, you're playing a game, you know, you get excited, you knock over a glass of water or soda or cocktail or whatever it may be, and I have to quickly run over and be like, pick up the game, get the game up first, you know, then we'll clean up, you know. But yeah, it happens.
Not sure how to play a game? Not confident in your knowledge of the game? Don't worry, they got you covered here.
We have what we call game gurus on staff that their job is to teach games during their shift.
As you get your game on, you start to notice something about this place.
Look around, no one's on their phone.
There's no boredom in this bistro of board games. This is all fun and games, as a matter of fact, until it brings out people's competitive spirit.
Competitive player, or are you just?
Yes, I'm very competitive. I gotta make sure I win at everything I do.
It's a great first date spot, you know, nothing like figuring out if someone's compatible than playing a board game. You know, are they willing to let you win? Are they intelligent? Like, you know, it's a good place to come and without distraction get to know someone.
If I would have brought my wife here, I don't think I would have married her because she's way too competitive.
The thrill of victory or agony of defeat is palpable here. And if you've had enough, you can always get a bite to eat.
I would say 95% of our kitchen is Scratch Kitchen. We make all of our sauces and all the food from scratch.
When you're ready to order, you'll want to have a game plan. And from what I hear, the pies here are ahead of the game.
Mini pies, they're about 3.5 inches in diameter.
They're mini.
They are mini. And they're savory pies.
I didn't know if that was dessert or not, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of what we're known for.
Don't let the golden layers of buttery crust get you off your game. The meat concoctions they make here are truly game changers.
We have the pot pie. It's basic, nothing on top. So that's going to be chicken, carrots, peas, potatoes, and then like a creamy gravy that we make. The barbecue pulled pork is going to be pulled pork and then Memphis style barbecue sauce. And then the Viet Philly is going to be ground chuck, onions, peppers, cheddar, and the beef is marinated in Vietnamese spices. The Aussie here is going to have ground chuck, onions, cheddar, and Marmite.
Do they get any sauces or anything, or do they just serve like that?
They're good as they are.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Watching the pies warm up in the oven is a waiting game. But once they're ready, it is game on.
We're gonna start with the traditional chicken pot pie here. Already you can smell that buttery pastry smell. That is not a microwave pot pie. Man, it is savory, it is soft, the chicken is perfect. Honestly, I start with chicken pot pie because I don't like chicken pot pie, but I like this chicken pot pie.
It just had a real nice, rich flavor to it. The crust was nice and crunchy, crisp.
On to the barbecue pulled pork.
A little touch of sweetness in that barbecue, but that savory side is something else. And I can't get over this dough. This dough is just pillowy soft. I did not expect a lot from pies, but they are awesome. Wow. On to the Viet Philly. See if we can really taste these Vietnamese flavors coming out. Wow. That marinade and that meat really comes through. And you get a little hint of the cheesesteak flavor, but it's all about the taste of that beef. That is fantastic.
You could tell the difference in the flavor. You know, it wasn't nothing that you would taste. It's more like Eastern style flavor, so which I liked.
Finally, the Aussie. And it does smell like a cheeseburger right off the bat. Another fantastic piece of pie.
Beefy, buttery. I did taste a lot of butter in there.
Who knew little pies like this could pack so much of a savory punch?
They're a lot of work. I mean, the payoff is worth it, but they're actually a lot of work.
Well, if you're looking for a mini meat pie or just a place to get your game on, coming to Game Theory in Fort Worth is well worth a stop on the Texas bucket list.
It is the best way to come and really get to know someone.
Great tasting food, awesome atmosphere, and the people here are just amazing. So, and games, you get to fellowship with people in a different way with playing games.